Hello and welcome all to a cast of the SpyParty Masters Championship 2023. My name is Opie Wrights. I'm here with my lovely co-caster Scout
Hello, hello.
and our amazing host Wrestler, who is here today despite some problems with his throat. So we're wishing Wrestler well, but in the meantime, we'll be the ones doing the talking. Today's match will be Graash versus gENTleman. This is a matchup within the first round of the challengers bracket. You can see over there at the very left, GRA versus gENT, since we did not have enough space to give everyone
I have to say, I wish
their
I was
entire
the
name.
GNT.
I know you do, Scout. Luckily, it's much easier for me. My entire name fits there. So does Rav and Lev, for the most part. But now this graphic is showing you that we have quite a few matches already cast, and we know the results of those. This is the only one we haven't seen from the challengers bracket yet. Of course, we have Scout over here going 9-4 over David W. Very nicely done, Scout. Some really close matches up in the top half of that challengers bracket, with Adafayesh and Yitterbijum winning out only just barely in overtime over Wrestler and Guggy, respectively. So it's been a pretty exciting tournament so far, and this one is, I imagine, going to be just as exciting.
I'm quite excited to see who I'm going to play.
You can't just say the word exciting again, Scout. I've already used it too many times. Uh,
Be right back
um,
while I look up a thesaurus.
yes. Getting into the players, though, we have Graash, who is coming in as seed number 8, and you see quite a few high placing finishes up there in Winter, Summer, and Hidden Cup. All of those doing pretty well, but not quite up at the very top. But was the SML Ruby Division champion, which did not did not have SMC points attached, but is still a very impressive achievement nonetheless. So Graash coming in here as a pretty strong player. Everyone knows Graash, and you know just the memory monster. Sometimes with all of the mnemonics that Graash likes to put in to his gameplay. I will say that his competitive spy play has been relatively slow ever since he faced Rov in, I believe, Winter Cup, or was it Summer Cup? When he prepped for that match versus Rav, I think something switched a little bit. He started playing a little bit slower, and it's been working out for him so far. And did actually get him some spy wins against Rav. So it'll be interesting to see how this progresses here in the style today. And I think, Scout, you're probably better prepared to talk about Grash's opponent here, gENTleman.
Yes, gentlemen and I have been doing some training together, and I think Jen is someone who's a bit newer to the competitive scene than I think most of the other of the challenges bracket, which is to say, not entirely ancient. And has been working quite hard on improving, especially his sniper. I think has a very, I would say it's a behavioral sniper style, but still very solid on that. And it's been pretty. I've been losing to it a lot, so I'm quite hyped to see this.
Yeah, and anyone playing in this tournament is going to be quite the solid sniper at the very least. It's going to be very hard for them to have a bad day. Of course, these are different players on different days have different styles and have different performances. But as a general rule, we can expect to see a lot of strong sniper play from these two coming into today. Now we have the draft, of course. Graash banning out Redwoods, one of those venues that's very much love it or hate it, and a more interesting ban, I think, from gENTleman with the library ban. What do you
I
think
think
about
that's
that one,
quite
Scout?
reasonable if you're not so solid on camping aspects. Library is one of those venues where it's a little bit harder to catch the behavioral things. There's just so much going on.
Well, I'm going to look ahead a little bit here and see that Gentleman has also restricted Veranda and picked a bunch of 4 of 8s where spies have a lot of agency, whereas Graash also has picked a bunch of 4 of X venues, but they're the more ones where spies maybe have to do a little bit more work. On courtyard and gallery in particular, we do also see the restrict of balcony from Graash, maybe not so comfortable on that small venue, especially against someone who is maybe a bit more on the behavioral end of things.
Yeah, I think it's telling that Grash thinks that there's a risk Gentleman might be picking double balcony, and so is getting ahead of that.
I mean, there it might be the case that Garage thinks, well, if because I know a lot of people, even those who like balcony, are not really willing to pick balcony as a single because there is just a little bit more variance on that venue, even if they think they have an edge. And so, getting it in as a double is going to be a way you can, control your edge on that venue that has a bit more variance, is a bit shorter, fewer guests. More volatility. And so maybe Grash thinks, well, I'm restricting it. I'm basically banning it because they won't want to pick it as a single. So that could be the idea behind that one. But either way, we don't see balcony for the rest of the draft.
So I think we can. Oh, right, there's predictions.
Predictions time. All right, interesting. Scott, what do you think?
Well, given that I've been being clapped by Gent recently, I'm gonna say that while I think Grash is the favorite here, I'm gonna say that I'm hoping that Gent can reach that new high and just edge it out. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 9-7 to
Nine
Gent.
seven, 9-7. Okay, okay, interesting. I will be going. I do think that it's going to probably be a close one, and I do agree that Graash comes in as a bit of a favorite, especially with that Ruby Championship, high placements, and all of the different cups throughout the year. We've been seeing a lot of Graash, and I think we're going to be seeing a little bit more throughout this tournament. So I'm going to give it to Graash, and I'm going to give it to actually by a slightly larger edge with 10-6
Both of us at
or
least hoping
nine
not to
nine
see.
six, I guess, because this one ends as soon as the match is complete, right?
Yes, indeed. There's no need to play it out for
Yeah.
tiebreakers. And I think both of us perhaps hoping that we might avoid the double overtime that has been a feature of some of the other championships
Well,
matches.
I mean, I don't know about you. Double overtimes, they're exciting. They are a little bit tough on my voice, and we're already losing wrestler to voice issues. So I think I think it's probably better if we don't see that this time around, at least
In
for
the
our
interests of
sake.
casting continuity.
All right, and that does mean we are on to the first venue, which is ballroom. That double ballroom from Grash's side. Gentlemen, we playing as the spy, as red dress here, and let's get it going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And of course, you're immediately delighted because we start with, the best venue as asserted by
Yes,
some.
yes, of course. This is by far the best venue in the game. This is, of course, not just my opinion. This is objective fact. Can't you tell that I'm being completely and utterly serious about this? Of course, I do think it is the best venue. People may disagree, but Ballroom is beautiful in that it gives us so much space for the spy to do things while also allowing the sniper to control the party if they're skilled. So it's something that I enjoy quite a lot about this venue. Gentlemen, starting off quite slowly here. We saw a lot of AI control going on early game here. And we haven't found a single flirt yet, which is a little bit concerning on Gentleman's end. We do often see that early flirt out of players, but instead we're just going into this early center statue to do that.
Yeah, I think after spending, the first 45 seconds of the game trying to flirt with our seduction target and not being allowed to, we just want to get some kind of mission progress. And it looks like Grash isn't highlighting for single inspects, so we haven't hurt at all from that.
Yeah, it does seem like that. Although, in theory, I think we could have gotten all three. Maybe Grash is aware of the fact that we actually couldn't have because of the people to our left and right picking up other statues. But that is something I wanted to point out is that we don't actually have that mission done for that center inspect completion. And if Graash is just blindly crediting full inspects there, that could be an issue. Oh, we go for a bug here. It doesn't quite land. We were hoping that the ambassador would pull through instead of just stopping at that statue. And it was a really nice attempt, especially as Graash went in and zoomed in on the list right as that was happening. So there was just no visibility on the sniper cam. But unfortunately, just not something that's going to land this time. But a nice attempt from gENTleman.
And it's interesting that gENTleman went in for the flirt and then didn't stay all that long. Just wanted to go into a completely different conversation to burn down that cooldown. Manages to hit the green for a 2 flat, so that's helped a lot with that pacing after the first slow start. But we're now at a minute 10, and we need a bit of mission progress here.
Well, we're getting it here, but this contact is going to be a little bit rough. We're seeing multiple lowlights on those that were previously highlights. And, you know, I think that green test was not just helpful, it was imperative if we want to get done with missions this game. But look at that, a white purloin right after we've been a highlight for the BB, and Graash is just on it, staring straight down at that fade. And gENTleman is going to take a bullet in this first game.
Yeah, I think the party wasn't so kind to us, and a little bit possibly pacing issues there, but that's expected with the first few games as the players get settled.
All right, on to the next game with Graash playing as Duke here. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Once again, some early walking around, probably looking for our ST here. Maybe a bug opportunity with the ambassador in the position that we're in. Like, this very well could be a wrong arm opportunity. Toby getting in the way, though, just a little bit, it would make that path very, very awkward. As the path is awkward anyway, and we step in next to our ST without going for that bug.
Yes, we did a slight loop-to-loop, but it's fine. AIs do that all the time, really.
I mean, it's not unheard of, that's for sure. 34% on the first flirt. No luck like we saw from gENTleman last game with those 2 flirts, but we do have that first flirt much earlier in the game. Ambassador stopping by in a very weird spot in conversation. Honestly, even here, you might be thinking about a bug, a correct arm bug, walking past the ambassador, just going into the conversation with a double agent. That would be genuinely pretty difficult to see, although very creditable on gENTleman's side. So Graash, you know, again, not quite going for this bug opportunity. Maybe instead looking for Prince, as we do see a couple go down on that statue and the briefcase right next to it. I would like for Graash to keep out a potential look at frame targets this game as well.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried that we burnt all of that time to get that second timer flirt, but with these prints and other things mounting up as options, it looks like we might not be too hard pressed for time.
Yep. All is well right now, although, you know, give it another 30 seconds without progress and we'll be in a little bit of trouble. We do see the ambassador heading to another set of statues here, so we could go for some kind of inspect and fingerprint finish if we wanted to. That was already a possibility with the print on the back left statue. Graash now moving, probably going to get this last flirt here. I feel like this has been a little bit slow out of Graash. We did mention before the cast that ever since prepping for Raw that one time, Graash has been playing it quite a bit more slowly, and, you know, hasn't been working out badly. But sometimes you do got to get moving here.
Yes, in some ways this can play into perhaps a behaviorist's idea of how a spy is going to play. As we're now finally lining up to get contact, but we're still going to need a mission and a half once we get this, which now would not be a terrible time.
Something I would actually prefer here is go get the print that's on the back left statue, or the one the ambassador has just recently touched on the front left statue, and then go for a green swap and contact is what I would prefer, just because we, you know, had wheels at statues in that moment, so we didn't want to contact right then. And now, unfortunately, though, that does mean the double agent has left. We would have had a bit more options had we gone for something like that. And now we really are just completely low on time. Here comes a fake contact, probably going to see a purloin right afterwards. Unfortunately, Wheels does leave conversation again. There's not even a single reel in this game. We take
And in
we
the
take
red.
this, and it's real this time. We just don't have enough time to finish this game. We're having to time add.
Yeah, and I think as being the only person at Windows, there's the safety off. And there's the shot.
Yeah, gentlemen, definitely could have waited for overtime there, but when you know what you know, you know. So that does
Yeah, I
mean that
think
we
when we were
are.
at Windows that 30 seconds earlier, we might have had a higher percentage chance, but either way.
Yeah, this is one of those things we often mention about time adding is that you want to perform a time ad well before you need it. You really you need to be able to look into the future and see, okay, my pacing's a little bit behind. I should probably do a time ad this game. Get that extra time, do a time ad, 1:45, 1:30 left on the clock, a lot earlier than the sniper is typically trained to look for it because spies are usually panicking at the end of the game with a time ad. You're much more likely to get away with it at that point in the game. And we see how the panic plays out here. But gentlemen, now back on the spy side, it is 1-1. Our snipers have reigned supreme, but it's only been one venue set so far, and we haven't even gotten through the entirety of ballroom. So we'll see how this set continues on with gentlemen on queen in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And this time we're not interested in chasing IST. We're just gonna sit idly while our ST does the chasing.
Yeah, our ST is probably going to determine where we head next, if I had to guess, from Gentleman's side. Maybe doesn't want to move to that window pad just in case that, Pearls moves away before we get that flirt off. That is a big danger of following them to those pads. Instead, we're going to go head into this conversation with a double agent. I don't think we're going to see a contact here quite yet, though.
No, we might well be skipping across to the conversation with AST in it shortly, but either way, we're now starting to burn a decent amount of time just having tried to line up this first flirt.
51% though. Gentleman still on that green streak with those flirts.
Graash with the safety off onto the ambassador. I presume this is a memory aid.
Oh, I really liked this purloin timing, but unfortunately, it is a white test. Can't be as fortunate with those tests as we are with the green tests on the flirt. And but thing is,
I think
Graash
Graash
didn't
has
see that
only
fade.
just seen it though. I
Graash did
think
not see that fade. Yeah,
well the highlights only came off after Smallman took, and now there are some lowlights. But I think he
I
might
have
not
to
have actually
imagine he'll pick up
noticed
a
that the list
highlight.
had gone.
It was
Here we
interesting because
go.
Graash was looking for it when we were taking after a moment there, and did not see the fade, but is a lot less sure than you would think here.
Yeah, I think that Pearline timing was indeed quite good. We're not interested in following our ST to center statues, though I wouldn't hate it as a way to get a bunch of progress.
Yeah, I mean, it would leave us as a very, very high chance shot at the time of contact. So we might need to end up, doing a swap or something else that does not create that immediate opportunity to shoot for the sniper. That obvious sign, hey, I'm done with my missions. If we did that center statues, but instead we actually have Rocker going center statues, which is a highlight. So maybe that is something that we can work with. Of course, we're taking the last of our drink, and we are in range for a standing bug here. That could be very powerful.
Yeah, if we
Or
can get
are
a
we?
bug here and avoid having to
Yeah.
contact.
Oh, we're not in range for a
Oh
standing
no!
bug. And Gentleman, I don't think realizes that there's a difference in the text when you are in range and when you're out of range. When you're in range, it'll say
And in the
plant
red.
bug on ambassador as the text for the action. When you're out of range, it'll say start planting bug, which indicates that it's going to be a walking bug. So unfortunately, Gentleman maybe doesn't know that little bit of information and goes for it. Luckily, does not get caught, it would seem, by Graash.
But now we're in a bit of trouble. We need one more mission. Unfortunately, we didn't hit that green with our ST. We're going straight back to try and finish that up.
And a shot that gets taken onto Twin.
Obviously, Graash not nearly as onto that Pearline as he needed to be, and was the slower play.
Yeah, I think maybe thought that there was a bug here right at the end from Twin. is my guess as to why the shot was taken, because there certainly wasn't any um, fingerprint on that bookcase that could have been acquired. The bastard had been there much earlier in the game, but it's long since been smudged.
I guess it has to just be a bug credit then.
Yeah, a bug credit onto Twin, and gENTleman definitely gets bailed out a little bit there from the slow game and from that white purloin.
Well, onto Irish.
Onto Irish on Ballroom, or Red Hood or Green Dress, however you want to call her. Strictly speaking, Checker likes to say that she's not Irish; she's meant to be Mediterranean, which does make sense. But she's got red hair, so she's got red hair and wears green. Everyone calls her Irish.
It's a little bit hard to not fall for the stereotype.
Indeed. Let's get this game moving in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And I think one thing that we've already noticed from both players is this intense desire to get a first flirt as the first thing we do, which in both cases so far has been a little bit difficult since our seduction targets haven't been interested at all in flirting with us.
Well, that's okay. We move in right next to our ST this time. No issues here. Green flirt this time for Graash, starting off strong.
No behind pillar purloin, which I think is quite reasonable at this point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite behind pillar when Toby is the one sticking out. And you would not, you might be able, you might not be able to see the person behind pillar, but you can definitely see Toby making the offer and infer what's going on there. So no purloin this time. But it is a relatively slow start, not just for us, but for the entire party. Lots of people in conversation. We do see Wheels, once again, as a potential frame suspect, though, going to center statues here.
And I think we requested a drink trying to get this difficult fingerprint, but sadly didn't manage to hit it, which, depending on how much Graash thinks that gENTleman is onto things like fingerprints, might just take fingerprints off the table now, because even if Gent misses another one, we still might be credited with completing that mission.
That is true. It makes it a lot more difficult to go forward with actually completing fingerprints. So unfortunately, we do. Yeah, Graash shaking the camera at every single white test here. Red test on the print. White test on this flirt here. So we're not done with that. And once again, we're kind of getting down to that territory where we need to start having something done. I would, in fact, I wouldn't mind just seeing us take this book out at this moment, because the party is very concentrated on the left side in the sniper view right now, and that means that's where most of the sniper's attention is going to be. And when the sniper has very little attention on what you're doing, it's much harder to properly commit to memory the kind of things like, oh, what kind of book does this person have? So going for a direct transfer, a green to blue there, would not have been so bad. We do see some safetying off from gENTleman onto maybe Wheels here. I couldn't quite tell. It wasn't directly over anybody, but it was certainly there.
And Graash now, with a minute left, has finally managed to finish flirt, but and it's a green purloin. It's a green purloin with us quickly departing from the scene, but Toby follows us anyway.
I'm not 100% sure about this timing, like in terms of where we were. I like where Toby went. I don't love where we rejected from, but with the direction Toby went, and the person who took. Oh, are we gonna return? Are we gonna return? No,
No, it hasn't been.
It hasn't been noticed. It would have been so beautiful as a return.
Oh wait, I hadn't even noticed that it had gone.
Yeah, it had gone. I don't think Jen had even noticed yet, and we could have just gotten that list returned. Of course, I'm not sure how much it matters with how little time there was left on the clock. We're gonna have to go in for a cheese swap here, but instead the shot just immediately comes off, and I think taking that drink was a blunder.
I wonder now if, given that I didn't notice that the purloin had been taken, maybe if Gent hadn't either, then us taking a drink just makes us the most suspicious person here.
Right, like you see Jen lowlight Toby right after we are the ones who take that drink, right? So I think that is when gENTleman noticed, or just a thereabouts, and Graash not quite on top of what gENTleman was seeing and what gENTleman was not seeing, which it's a tough skill. The laser does not give you very precise information, especially with the inclusion of laser lag. But oftentimes very skilled players can tell these sort of things, and Graash is a very skilled player, but I think in this case could not quite tell that taking that drink would have been as bad as it was, especially as low on time as Graash was.
Well, the distraction play did work. There's that going for Graash. It just worked slightly too well.
Just a little bit too well. gENTleman now up 3-1. Remember, that was Grash's pick. Not something you want, not ever a good feeling to be down on your pick immediately like that. So gonna have to do some work to bring this back if Graash is going to win the set. But it's still early days. This is 2-9. So should be plenty of SpyParty to play. gENTleman now on the spy side on Taeyen, and if anyone can make a comeback anywhere, it's on Taeyen. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And I think this is the shoji setup that is usually reported as having the lowest spy win rate. So unfortunate for gENTleman and possibly thankful for Graash.
Yeah, it is. It is intuitively fairly bad. I don't know exactly what stats we have on it, but it doesn't feel good. Like all of the statues here are on, just completely exposed, making swap harder, making various things harder on that edge of the venue. There's no possibility of cheesing between bookshelves, which, because that shoji is blocking off the path between the two of them. And I'm not sure what we've been highlighted for, but we have been.
Well, I guess we'll find out. It's just Boots and us now, and Boots has sent a statue, so that seems reasonable, and now we've lost it, so...
Interesting. I wonder what that's about. But, only Graash could say. gENTleman, in the meantime, looking for our second flirt. A little bit of a weird path through conversation. Not sure how much Rob is going to care about that.
Rolf?
Did I say Rolf?
Yep.
I meant Graash. I don't know why I said Rob. I think it's because I think it's because Duke is our ST and and Rob's profile picture.
You like, well, I was going to accuse you of stereotyping English people, but that's okay.
No, that's Rob's profile picture. Okay, it's not stereotyping if it's his own. Anyway, I don't know how much Graash is going to care about that. Contact here coming off. It is going to be a white test. Let off a couple of lowlights, but incredibly not Smallman. And only 2.
Interesting that we now get a neutral light onto Smallman after that contact.
I think it was due to a SIP BB potential from Smallman.
I would not be neutralizing that against gENTleman. Just saying.
Interesting. Maybe that's something that that Graash does not.
But either way, it's... Okay, we get flirt done. That's good. And now we do have that partial inspect from earlier, and the very start of the game. And I'm not entirely sure that Graash might have... Is that an accidental BB? Because we just took 2 more people out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we were just trying to, throw some more chaff in the air, potentially, if it was intentional. But
because
again,
I was going to say that we could just finish inspects and some other mission as our final mission construction that could be done fast enough.
We go for this bug here. It is visible. The snapback seen by Graash, and the shot gets taken. A nice attempt here, but I think it was a little bit too telegraphed. The shoji were not in the right position for this kind of play at all, and Graash does manage to hold on to some semblance of being in this set. Yeah. And on to the next game, where Graash can make a comeback, and we have not the worst shoji setup. In fact, it is much better than the one we had last game for gENTleman. One of the main things that we care about as well in these shoji setups, and we'll talk about this as we get into the game. By the way, we have Graash on the spy side, of course, playing as Seek, tall character, interestingly enough. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. But one of the things you'd like to see in the shoji setup is that those first two shoji are different, and the reason this is it forces the sniper into a much more like claustrophobic corridor where a lot of visual noise is going to start, cluttering their view. They won't have as many good angles. With when both shoji in the front are on the right, or both are on the left, you can swing out in the opposite direction as the sniper and get a much more textured view of the party, a lot more horizontal space that you can use. But when you're like this, that sniper is looking down one lane more or less, unless they want to look through shoji themselves, which is a lot more difficult.
Graash, though, not nearly as excited about this shoji as you are,
Excited
and
about this potential bug, though. Look at that. We could be taking this, but look at this gentleman all the way over here. Oh my goodness, all the way
oh,
over here was ready for that attempt at the bug. And I'm not sure if Graash realized just how well angled Gentleman was for this, looking through the shoji, as we mentioned, ready for this possibility. And usually, doing this is more deterrent than anything else. Usually, when I do this, I'm saying to the spy, if you do this, you will die, so you shouldn't do it. I don't often expect to catch someone doing it. In this case, Graash takes the bait, and Gentleman very nicely positioned.
I think the crucial thing also is Graash might have overlooked the fact that you can still see the outline of a character if you're hovering over them through the shoji. You're
That is
not
indeed true.
perhaps
Yeah.
quite as hidden as you thought you were.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things with silhouettes in through shoji, but if the sniper is hovering over you, they can see your entire outline no matter who else is around you, and that is a huge boon for snipers to be able to do that through shoji like that. But yes, well done from Gentleman to be exactly where he needed to be to catch that bug. And now we are on to the spy side once again in
Running it
three,
back.
running it back. Yeah. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Oh, I thought we were running it back as Seek, but the spy arrow was over someone else. Don't mind me. We're just here with the best standing bug character on Taean. Don't mind us. As we follow our ST to collect, hopefully, possibly, I imagine Gent is hoping to finish Flit in record time and get some good pacing going on.
Yeah, very nice start. 51%. We're hoping for another big flirt here for Gentlemen, especially if we're waiting on it. There it is, 100%. I would like to see Gentlemen use that, pick up the pace a little bit. I'm not sure about a purloin here necessarily, but this is the kind of shoji setup where you do have the opportunity for potential a book cheese with that shoji in the front. That's creating a lot of silhouettes with regards to the books, but you do have that direct path from bookcase to bookcase if you so choose. And because through shoji, there's a lot of issues with like depth perception as well. That could be something that is a possibility for Gentlemen. You could also go for some inspects. Bug is always a good option on Tayen. Look at this. We do head on into bookshelves, so we'll see what Gentleman wants to do here. Fingerprint.
And we hit this one, the difficult. That's a lot better than the previous difficult fingerprint attempted in this set. And we take the book out. That I'm slightly less sure of, given that Graash might be busy remembering that we have a fingerprint.
Yeah, it is something. It's like that old adage: "Don't commit a crime while you're committing a crime." Because we go for this bug, very
Oh,
ambitious here. I don't think it was visible, but this is one of the downsides of having Taft as your ambassador. He's just so speedy. Is the quite literally the fastest character in the game, makes it very difficult to make those drive-by bugs happen, especially at those angles. Graash checking on the fact that we are indeed going back to the right bookshelf here and is satisfied with that fact. So a nice correct return here, I think, might help us out.
and now we could go to green books to finish prints, but that would also, again, be quite suspicious, going bookcase to bookcase.
This could be a printable statue. Yes, it is. We go for it, and we do find it. It's possible we could go for... Wow, a shot! Very interesting.
I guess we're sorry, and so Graash has to credit a bug and admit he might have missed one.
Yeah, it's possible. Something like that. Not exactly sure what Graash saw, but what Graash saw was a spy and shot a spy. So keeping it nice and level despite the early deficit is Graash. And now is on the spy side of Tayen, where we can make the magic happen. We can draw this back to even if we're Graash.
All right, ready when you are.
In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And this time we're the one with the second speediest character in the game.
That is not actually true.
No?
No, I believe second speediest is Seek. Alice is always deceptively like 5th or 6th or something like that.
She just has that.
She has that strut,
Yeah, she needs to get places. The places we're at is a 46% flirt, which hurts a little bit when you did manage to hit the green test, but we'll take it.
We will indeed. That will make some things easier. A perfect contact, which is something that you're always going to take. It is unfortunate that, for Graash, that we don't have the real contact. But you should always take that contact. There is literally no reason not to.
Yes, unless you do suddenly get 5 people splitting in the middle of your white, in which case you regret life. But
Well,
in this
that's
case,
true.
it worked out.
there is that, but that's when things go wrong. All right, we head on into these green books. Are we going to go for a animation transfer? We are pretty well covered up by Teal and Toby here. We don't go for it. Just put it back. And something I'd really like to see from Graash is if we're gonna keep moving, at this pace, I'd like to see a time ad. We might be getting that just now, actually, as Graash steps out to the back window here.
This is very much the time ad spot, but looks like no time ad forthcoming.
Yeah, we go for a bug while walking, but that's just too far away. Actually, no, that was a standing bug, but unfortunately it was transitioned to walking because the ambassador was pushed out. So a little bit late on that.
Yeah, I think it's often quite easy to line up for the bug. You've just,
We
the
have another
ambassadors
chance.
come back to give us another chance.
And Toby's covering us up, although we don't really know that, so I don't know if Graash can take it. We do. We go for it. Oh, no, not again. We waited too long.
Both times we've been waiting until it's less suspicious and a little bit too far.
Yeah, we are going to go in, get this next flirt. Unfortunately, it's not going to complete it. We do finally have that time ad. It's a little bit later than I would have liked to see from Graash, but it is there.
And I thought we were going to line up for our third attempt at a bug, but no, it's back to windows. It looks like we're just trying to burn time to finish flirt, but burning time is not really what we can afford to do here.
No, indeed not. I would have liked to see maybe even just going for a bug here. We need some sort of mission progress much swifter than we were getting it.
Yeah, half of that time ad is now gone, and nothing really to show for it. We're in with the STA, which we can't know, but it means that we're no closer to getting a real banana bread.
Here we go. Last flirt, I have to imagine, coming in right here.
I'm a little bit worried given our luck. No, our ST doesn't bail
And the
on
end of
us.
red.
Contact comes off, the second one here. That is going to be 2 lowlights, but not unreasonable. We could unfortunately see highlights from everyone who's in the front conversation for the second reel, because there was no reel in the back conversation. But safety off onto General here. Careful, careful. If we, get away with this game despite this pacing, gENTleman's going to be kicking himself.
Yeah, I mean, much as we haven't been doing much, we have been giving time for plenty of other people to do things, and now we
here's
have
the purloin. But look at this, Graash. gENTleman is zooming completely in on potential bugs from the ambassador, but we still need one more mission. It's 11 seconds left. We have to go for a bug as the ambassador comes back this way. I have to imagine that's what we're gonna go for. Double walking bug. Can we make it happen? No. Oh, we have to do something. We can't just time out. No, Graash.
I think if we'd managed to crash bug there, Gent might have been confused enough by what had been happening with the purloin.
Yeah, Jen
But
was watching that bug pretty closely, but even then, we could have had a dance.
I mean, it is Tayan, I guess.
It is indeed Tan, but Graash, no spy, in fact, able to make anything happen here, which is a little bit unusual. You usually see a lot more spy success on this venue. Um, but that means that we are at halftime and Gent leads.
And I think historically, leading at halftime has been a pretty strong indicator for who's going to be winning at the end. But seeing how close these games have been, I'm not willing to make bets on this now.
I mean, if you had to give me if you had me guess a correlation between halftime score and chance of winning, I would definitely go with, yeah, if you're leading at halftime, you probably have a higher chance of winning. And I know that that's probably stronger, very, very strongly correlated. But it is a funny thing to say because it seems a little bit self-explanatory. But we do have those stats.
Look, I'm just saying that comebacks might be slightly overrated, which I shouldn't be saying as a caster.
Wow. Are you saying that comebacks don't always happen?
I might be implying that.
I don't believe you. Anyways, I think Graash is still going to win this game. Or match, sorry. I think he's also going to win this game because I believe in Graash.
As we see,
Gentlemen,
I think our third showing of Seek as Spy so far this set.
is it really? By the
You
way,
know,
the actual second fastest character in the game.
Oh, all right. Well,
In
I'm ready when
3,
you are.
2, 1, playing it.
You know, he's a cool guy. Cool guy.
What was that?
Seek, he's a cool guy.
Yeah. No Freudian slips there at all. No flirt yet either. I.
Yes, the spies seem to have reacted to trying to
And
get
the
flirt
red.
first and that not going very well to not doing much. Except
Yeah,
now
we
we
do
have a real
see.
BB.
Yeah, very early contact, which is interesting, right? There are some pretty big trade-offs to that early contact, and that is the fact that those lowlights will be there for the entire rest of the game, and it's going to take a load off the sniper for that entire time. Um, so, but on the other hand, we have it done, and that means that the sniper does have to be a little bit more worried about imminent finishes throughout the rest of the game as well, because usually you're ready. Like, I can wait for contact. I don't have to shoot immediately. I don't have to worry about this happening, and then I have to shoot within 10 seconds a lot of the time. But with that contact said, there is always that threat right there in the back. That potential for the game to be more or less just over.
I think in some ways, especially on Courtyard, it can be useful because we're we're removing the big, trigger to shoot, which is usually what one runs into a spy on Courtyard. And so, if we can manage to get our other, oh no, not a red test.
Red test on red dress could have been intentional to make her move around more, but I doubt it.
So possibly already we would like to go and do a time ad, but if we can get our missions done, we might have a slightly higher chance of the sniper not really having that, oh, I need to shoot now moment.
Well, we are picking up those inspects now, but Scout, what do we always see on Courtyard?
I don't know what we always say on Courtyard.
What's the fourth mission?
Aha.
We have contact, we have inspects, and we are going to get seduce. What's our fourth mission? It could be
Well,
bug.
there's
The
an
ambassador
ambassador right
is
here.
joining in right next to us. We take it. Does it get seen? I think it has been. Nice shot out of Graash.
It was such a good bug, though.
Yeah, it is I think that is one of those bugs where you just more kind of just have to take it. You're not going to get a better opportunity throughout the game. You have 45 seconds left. You're just not going to have a better opportunity to finish off this game as the spy. It's not a very high percentage bug just because of the sniper angle, the fact that we're high lit because of even the statues. It's not going to work very often. but it's going to work more often than a lot of the other options we had, for the rest of that game. And so I am impressed by gentlemen kind of realizing that and taking that bug, even if it did end up getting shot. But now on to the spy side is Graash. Every time just trying to look for this comeback, trying to look for this, return to parity. Let's get it rolling in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And we're stuck in a conversation without our ST, which does seem to be a beginning of a theme here. Managing to fit into this conversation circle without being bounced around the side, which is
Very
always
nice.
useful. The small conversation circles on Courtyard can be quite terrifyingly misleading as to what is a valid space.
Not as bad as veranda conversation circles, surely.
There is that, but at least veranda has more of them, so they're less likely to be packed out. Or maybe I just don't play veranda enough to have it seared into my brain.
It's really that very right conversation on veranda that I'm thinking of as horrendous. And that one's relatively small and can be packed out pretty easily. 98%. I feel like we've seen this before, Scout.
Yeah, I mean, both spies have been heading to greens, but not quite too close enough greens.
Yep.
And the end of
Fake
red.
contact here for Graash. Only one conversation had real, and we do see 2 highlights becoming lowlights. Not really the outcome you want. But on the other hand, gentleman is taking the opportunity to take highlights for real contact. That I like. Ooh, we could be taking advantage of a rotation here. If we go for the inspects, the immediate swap, and we put this down, I think we would have gotten away with it without being seen at all. But now, the rotation is in. We will pick up that highlight. I think Graash just missed an opportunity.
I think it's a harder opportunity to make the most of with laser lag, especially across further apart regions. But that could have. It would be a good opportunity, except for when you're worried about throwing away your chance to even up.
Well, there's plenty more chances to even up as long as you hold your sniper. Here comes the second contact. Will we see a purloin here? We are being offered a drink in this moment as well. Could have been an interesting timing for it.
We have ended up with more of the party highlight than neutral it, which might be helping us out here.
It does indeed. Flirt 100% here. But, Scout, what's the last mission? Is it bug? Is it purloin?
Mission that we can get done in 40 seconds is the question.
That is indeed
I'm not actually sure that we are offerable where we were standing there before. Oh no, we get stuck on the tree.
We head in for a potential swap, but yeah, it's a green swap. This is gonna be difficult to make work at this time in the game, though.
In some ways, I think a green swap is even less good because we're now going to have a clock.
Oh no, I don't like that. We just knocked out the only other person who had been to statues in those last few seconds. We could have maybe gone for another contact. We're just trying to just throw chaff in the air, get the gentleman distracted, but gentleman going over, maybe seeing the swap or just seeing overtime in general and not having anybody else it could have been. Didn't even necessarily need to see the swap. And Graash does take yet another bullet and needs to find a spy win here sometime soon, or else this is going to get dire.
I think the contacts were good for covering up, but not good when what we're covering up is a clock hang, and the sniper knows that there's no chance that contact could have caused the overtime beeps.
Indeed. Well, we are on to Modern, where Gentleman is on the spy side, and Gentleman.
Oh, look, it's Seek.
Gentleman did get that one spy game through, but Graash has been good at controlling it, ever since then. And we talk about Graash having opportunities to bring it back under control, get back to even. We haven't been as much talking about a Gentleman's potential to pull away and really take control of the set, really just lock this thing out. So that's kind of what's at stake, more or less, every single spy game we're seeing here from gENTleman, and it hasn't materialized yet. Can he do it this time on Modern? In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And I think the issue for both of these players on Modern is just going to be the pacing. It's somewhere where you don't have any handy painting pads to recover from while you're trying to figure out what you're doing next, or
Oh, there's
when
plenty of
someone,
window pads. I don't know what you're
it's
talking about. Way on the outside of the
well,
venue, of course, but
there's plenty of window pads. They're just a long way away, as is literally everything on this venue.
luckily we are a speedy character.
We're a speedy character who's at the end of quite a long line at bar, but I guess that's fine. We're waiting for our cooldown to expire anyway.
We are seeing Graash highlight for bar here as people are being offered drinks, not before, which is very interesting, very methodical approach to it. A lot of people will just highlight everyone at bar, and if they catch someone who, ends up walking away before they get their drink, oh well, right? But, Graash is being very, very methodical about who gets that highlight, and we do end up picking it up here. Not what you really want to see early on in this game, but if we're not planning on doing anything for the next minute, as long as Graash takes that highlight down, it should be okay.
For the first time in quite a long time, gENTleman doesn't manage to hit the 2 green on the flirt, which is a little bit unfortunate. We would have finally gotten up to 100 this time. But we've got this drink, we've got plenty of options.
Plenty of options indeed.
And I think neither spy has really shown that much interest in framing either, which I've found interesting. Given that we are playing a little bit more of a conservative spy, we could maybe be making more
We
of
take
that.
the delegate. I'm not sure if that's going to actually take, or if we were just trying to get movement around the party. Yeah, it does expire, so my guess is that was not a delegate meant to actually take. That was delegate saying, I want more guests moving around. I want activity happening, and we do see that neutral light in from Graash. Again, very, very methodical and careful about those bar lights.
But for gENTleman, we're getting low on time again.
A little bit,
We'll be
under 2
making
minutes
some
is not
progress with
where.
inspects, but still, we will need to finish flirt, find another 2.5 missions on top of that. It's a lot to get done in 2 minutes.
Sure
At least our
is.
seduction target is currently in conversation, so we can finish that up. And then the question is, what are our other 2 missions going to be?
Well, flirt, inspect, contact. You have to be, that seems to be the baseline that we're moving towards here. Unfortunately, Double Agent does leave our conversation. I would like to see a timeout here from gENTleman, and we do have that obliged. Unfortunately, look at that, immediately noticed by Dr. Graash.
I think this isn't feeling so good, especially now seeing all the lowlights coming out.
Oh yeah, this is definitely down to 2, and I think this is more or less a done deal on Grash's side. A little bit of pacing issues, maybe a bad timing on the time ad compared to the party flow. Maybe we just needed a green test, and that would have gotten us away with that. But either way, Graash pretty close here to winning this game.
It's not entirely, everyone's a low light apart from the spy, but it's getting towards there.
Banana bread.
Oh, certainly. We see quite a few more lowlights come out as this contact does. And what to do? I think we're just trying to get Duke shot at this point. I think gENTleman sensed the fact that we were caught on this time ad.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I think this is the first time that gENTleman at least has needed a time ad, and I think some snipers are just, that's one of the things they guard hard, and it looks like that might be what Graash is onto. As we're traveling across the venue to be doing something.
Something being completing inspects, a little bit of a rough path, and we just do take that bullet.
I think not entirely surprising. Graash just onto our non-mission progress, but it's still a hard tell.
Yep. Now Graash on the spy side once again at this 1 game down threshold? Can we find just, add to that spy win counter by 1 in 3, 2, 1, playing it. These snipers have been quite impressive so far.
And the spies have consistently been just struggling a bit time-wise.
Yeah, I
Graash
think I
trying to
think it
correct
doesn't
that
help.
by getting the immediate green flag this time.
It certainly does not help that these spies have been a little bit on the slower end and haven't been seemed willing to shake it up yet. Not really testing the other snipers. Now the snipers, of course, they're memorizing well. They're making good decisions, but you're not doing enough to force in this aspect, I think, for these spies. So
gENTleman doing a nice touch here, highlighting Toby when there's a print on the bar.
that is
Toby
something
has
that
to have some
it's
love
a
sometimes.
yeah, it's a pretty good way of encoding that information on the bar, and we do see Graash picking up a highlight, probably for the print, because I didn't see many other people picking up highlight for the bar pickup.
It might be to have highlight one twin and not another, and we might just have forgotten that we've already low-lit one twin for being an SDA.
True enough, could be.
Either way, we're now idling in conversation when we could be standing next to wheels and getting flirt.
Well, double
These
agent
parties have
comes to
been
us.
In the end of red.
Contact goes off. The only other highlight in the party is going to be a low light now,
There's a lot of
and a
I think
delegate.
6 available lowlights, but how many of these will be taken is a question.
More and more as time goes on, just I think making sure there was no cheese happening. Unfortunately, that delegate purloin timer did just expire, so even though, Duke's all the way over there at bar, it is not going to actually get that list for us.
And we're in a very similar spot as gENTleman was last game. We have at least managed to get contact off, but it is a bit of a question what our 2 missions are going to be.
Yeah, and it occurs that we did not actually get a print. Did we? Did we not get a print off that drink, or is it just on
Did
my end?
we forgot to take the print off the drink and we finished the drink, and so now we can't get the print off the drink?
Amba did not take a drink. Aha. Amba didn't even take the drink. So we
I
couldn't have
mean,
gotten the print in the first place.
I admire his sobriety, but that was less useful to us as a spy.
Indeed. We do take the delegate cheese, though.
I wonder, though, that Jen might be onto this. I
It's
guess we'll
interesting.
find out if this is sent. I imagine it has to
Oh,
be.
safety off onto someone that's not us, it would seem.
I'm starting to
Pretty
wonder
early
if these
delegate
are just
here.
safety offs into the void of, I'm suspicious. I'm not going to tell you who I'm suspicious of, but I am suspicious.
So when this delegate comes off, and it will this time for sure, as we are seeing that taken right now, what is going to be the reaction? A bug. Ooh, very nicely executed by Graash here. Wrong arm away from the sniper. Not a good angle for gENTleman. And Graash is indeed going to find that spy win finally, pushing through 2 hardtails at about the same time. And, I think that was very nicely timed. It was not immediately after the purloin, but a few seconds after, giving gENTleman time to kind of notice and then start to respond before giving that hardtail right at the end.
I'm not even sure that gENTleman saw that the list was gone. He was quite focused on guarding Bug, and either way,
I think we did see it right at the end there, but it was too little, too late, and now we are on to gallery 6-6, an even set so far. And I did say that I thought Graash would win 9-6, so I'm looking for Graash to just sweep 3 games in a row here. Fingers crossed. I want to be right on the prediction money. um, but in reality here, it's got to obviously feel good for Graash, not so much for gENTleman. But even as the player who, you just lost a sniper game as gENTleman, you have to remember, I was ahead. Now it's even. It should, this is totally fine.
Yeah, it's even. We're now playing, best of 3 venues, but it's like we're starting again, just significantly more tired.
Yep, and with fewer games to play, this is now turned into what? A 6-game set potentially if one of the players wins before overtime.
Indeed.
All right, let's get it going in 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah.
And I think at this point, having seen how the bigger slash harder to get progress venues have gone, I'm a little bit concerned as to what's going to happen to these spies on gallery. It's already quite a volatile venue with the double agent deciding that they want to spurn you. And if you're leaving less time for that, that's going to hit you even harder.
Yeah. 34% on the early flirt here from gentlemen. And 74% right after that. We get some 2 quick flirts, and I think your fears have been a little bit addressed here, Scout. Gentlemen quickly getting that done, and in fact also getting a contact done very early as well. Gonna have quite a few low lights come off for that, and for a very long time in this game. The interesting to see how Graash handles that. Because as we mentioned, those low lights being off for longer means that it's going to be a lot more focus proportionally onto gentlemen and the other non-low light guests of the party.
gENTleman not quite following Swarman onto his pad, though in fact we would have actually had enough time to get that flirt off perhaps. Instead we're aborting from taking our drink outside and stopping here, finishing our drink, seeing what we're going to do.
All right, probably just finish flirt if I know anything about how these spies have been playing today.
Well, it's the most important mission. You don't want to finish a game of SpyParty without having gotten flirt done. And we're just chilling.
All right,
Chilling
2 minutes 10 for 2 more missions. I'd like to see something relatively aggressive, maybe get done at around 110. Potentially like a reject into cheese books. Doesn't matter. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Graash, misremembering a book? No. Yes, I think maybe misremembering a book. I'm not sure.
Well, it's the easiest way to win as spy. gENTleman will definitely be taking that and hoping to lock it down on Sniper this next game.
And here we do see, we talk so much about the downsides of an early contact. That is the upside right there.
As we get ready for Graash on Teal.
In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And we admire. Which is your favorite painting on gallery?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
really partial to the series of blues.
Okay, okay.
Kind of just showing off a little bit there from the artist. We know more than one shade.
Graash took that entire walk down the hallway, almost quite lined up for that perfect double walking bug, but not quite. And so, in shame, back we go.
Well, at least we might be able to get a second flirt here in a moment.
I think the little yellow one is my favorite. Closely followed by the big red one. There's something small and cheery about the little yellow one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
You like Big Red though, as well.
Yeah, you know.
Who doesn't like
you
Big
have
Red?
To admire
really?
all sorts of art. Neither of these spies have shown any interest in transfer whatsoever.
Yeah, I would really like if they appreciated literature more. That flirt does barely come off here.
It looks a little bit suspicious when we land on a pad and then do the little shimmy over to get the better flirt percentage. But now we're flirting again
for no particular reason.
but that's fine. Everything is fine. We've got Flit done now, so we can start doing our other missions.
Very good. Other missions. Ready to go. Come on, Graash. We haven't really seen any miss shots from gentlemen so far. So we got to get
It's
something
a
moving.
purloin.
Well, I asked and Graash delivers purloin, a green one, in fact, and I feel like it's pretty nicely timed. Ambassador is outside. We got multiple people at statues, and of course, we're getting a little bit fortunate with how this is bouncing around. One reject, unfortunately, that's all it will go to as we get the take. However, Toby does move into the back conversation, where after this, there's gonna be multiple more takes, and gentleman's not going to see that this is gone until just now.
Yeah, I think gentleman was busy guarding Bug in the front conversation, which was very helpful for us as the spy.
Indeed, and now we are walking from the outside to the inside, and maybe we'll get a low light. Oh, there it is, low light here on Graash because of how long it took for gentlemen to notice that purloin, and now we just have to use that to get missions done in next 110.
Does Graash know that he's low lit though? Because if we're
I'm
low lit,
sure.
it's an easy finish.
I'm sure he felt some kind of light, is a thing, right? There was a pretty clear moment where the sniper laser was hanging over you, and I think in this case you probably should assume that you are a low light because of how that purloin played out, because of where you were when when you felt that happen. And if you're a highlight, you're probably not going to win the game anyway, so you might as well act as if you are low light.
We were very
But
polite with our conversation stop at the front.
Banana bread.
contact, unfortunately, it's not real for us, and knocks out pretty much every single highlight in the game. How do we finish? We got 20 seconds left. Graash, shaking the laser here from gentlemen. Lots of frustration, but I don't think, if gentlemen just holds, it's gonna be okay. This could be a bug contact. No, they both leave. We're gonna need to time ad right at the end. Graash couldn't find a win here. White test time ad. The beeping stops. Low lights on everyone inside in just a moment, I'm sure.
I wonder
Gentleman
though.
doesn't. I don't think gentleman doesn't realizes that the clock isn't hanging. Okay, now he does.
Yeah,
Now he's realized the time ad.
but we weren't caught. But
How do we gotta
again, we're
finish
at 30
somehow.
seconds and we need 2 missions.
We we're right back into the fire here with no way to finish. There's no way.
Okay, here
We
come the
need to
lowlights on the people inside. But
swap or something. We
unless
need to, like,
Twin gets shot for this talk now, I think
no
we're a little bit
way.
stuck.
Gosh, no.
It's another timeout?
It has to be. We go for a bug right afterwards, but we're the only one who could have possibly been at Windows. Ah, gosh.
Okay,
no.
this time.
That was
I mean,
tragic.
given that it seemed like that bug was not noticed, a
Well,
lot of things happened at the end of that game.
Oh goodness.
Being able to shoot a low light is very nice work there from gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean you have to once it's the only person who could have timed out at the end. Unfortunately for Graash. Jeez. What a game. We had such a nice purloin and could not convert it. And that does mean that gentleman's right back in the lead here.
Both
And I
spies
believe
very
only
much
needs
taking it down
only
to the
needs one
wire.
more only needs one more game to win the entire set. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, gentleman has already secured at least overtime and just needs to take out one of these games to take it out.
All right. Well, let's see if we can close this one out here on Aquarium with gentlemen on the spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Hoping for better luck with Teal's game this time.
Uh-oh. I think we might have been caught for a little bit of a twitch on the pad there as we arrived at the start of the game, because this is not usually how Graash highlights for bar.
Yeah, it's not looking so great. Given that Kane took a drink and is not a high. Okay, now here comes the highlight for that.
A little bit belated, though.
It's fine, though. It's fine. Graash will forget about this in a few minutes' time and We'll be fine adapting.
Right, but how much time will that cost in terms of getting missions done? That's the big question.
None if we spend the usual 2 minutes getting flat done. It's been a very quiet party so far. I think we've had one inspector so far.
red.
Fake contact. We've been seeing a lot of very early contacts from gentlemen. It's an interesting strategy in their spy game so far.
I think adding that extra pressure to the sniper might just be a lot of it. And if you're going to do early reels, doing some early fakes, kind of has to be part of your repertoire.
It does indeed.
And early flirts, also part of our repertoire, which
Well, we've known that for a while,
and close
Scout.
it out.
And the two greens in particular are a big part of gentlemen's repertoire. We do take out this book. I'll be interested to see what we decide to do with it.
It would be cool if we could manage some kind of contact, bug into books, and then shark walk. We're down to neutral suspicion again, so maybe we weren't as suspected for that shuffle as we thought.
Yeah, maybe it was indeed just a bar highlight that came off preemptively.
Banana bread.
Contact actually coming off this time. It does mean
it's
there are
another
quite a few
highlights
lowlights.
On top of 5 highlights, which is not a good time.
Yeah, that's the half the party or more low lit here. So that's going to make things difficult moving forward for gentlemen. Could be a bug as we enter bookshelves here, but that'd be pretty exposed. But if not that, then what? We are, again, running low on time, below 120 here, and we only have contact seduce.
And we're returning correctly, so this isn't any kind of mission progress.
That is indeed the case. Need to find something going on here for a gentleman. Being a little bit too polite, everyone is. Oh, almost. I thought I was a little bit on us for a second, but no, it was on wheels, not us, unfortunately.
Ambassador continuing to visit us, tantalizingly close, but not close
but
enough.
Unfortunately, the ambassador will move before this middle shark comes by.
And we're in a bit of a bind again. Are we trying
we are heading into bar, picking up a highlight though, and we just need a little bit more speed. We take the delegate here from the bar, and we just immediately get shot though.
We didn't, in fact, take the delegate. We just straight up took the list.
Yes, the list. That's what I meant. Yes.
Having been standing next to 2 lowlights, there wasn't much chance of anything other than a shot at that point.
Indeed, and we saw a lot of this all set. Graash 1 game down on the spy side, but this one is a must-win to move on in SMC to even have a chance. Graash has to win this spy game on Aquarium, playing as General. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And Gent very much wanting to continue the pattern of sniper splits to close this out.
That definitely what Gent would want here.
Doing the subtle, not so subtle chase. Decide not to land next to ST at bar though. So after all that,
now we do.
You gotta get your flirting done sometime. And by sometime,
and that time is in the first 30 seconds of the game.
Indeed. You know, General's getting on. He has to make the most of his chances in the dating pool.
You think Wheels is going to let him have a chance?
I don't know. It depends on whether he can hit green tests or not.
True enough. Take an early delegate here for Graash.
Gentleman not highlighting for bar, so this is handy. It's not gonna hurt us. I can't imagine we're going to send this off in time for it to take. It's quite early in the game to be narrowing down the party that hard.
All right, green test, 30 up to 85% here. One more successful flirt from anywhere with any test will do it.
sadly, the shark not quite in a good enough position to get that walking bug. And we're just chilling.
Just chilling. But if we chill too much longer, I'm going to be once again worried about our progress.
No, somewhat justifiably worried given how the previous spy games have gone.
In particular, that gallery one was a little bit tragic.
But
Delegate timer does expire here, so we're not going to be taking that just now. Finishing off Flirt. Just under 2 minutes to play.
okay, so it's 3 of 7, 2-minute aquarium. Off we go.
3 of 7, no Flirt.
And I've been interested that both spies have very much been focused almost entirely on Purloin being their fourth mission.
Yeah.
It's been Flirt, Contact, Bug, and Purloin. Not really much interest in anything else.
Not bad for sure as a way to finish the game.
No, it's just a little bit hard. Before Banana Bread was sent, I wasn't so keen on sending this delegate. It's a little bit hard to finish our last mission once we've already narrowed down the party a bunch.
Well, here goes Delegate regardless.
To a low light.
To a low light, but maybe not a guaranteed low light. There was some faffing about with the low light there, and the Purloin does take. So we just need one more mission here.
And
oh
no!
gENTleman sees the delegate gone a little bit too late and thinks it must be pearls, but no, that is not the case. And we get away with a game that we definitely had a chance to find some kind of last mission, but it would have been more difficult than that. And we are going to be going into overtime here.
So the overtime draft, that being Graash. So if I remember correctly, all picks and bans are reset. I don't think either player will be making use of that though. As Graash picks Tayan and gENTleman picks High Rise. So there will be 2 games played on each venue, and at the end of that, if it's still 2-2, we will go to we'll go to more overtime, or
which is balcony.
No, I think there are 2 sets of if it's a tie after this set of overtime, there'll be another set of overtime after which it goes to balcony. I think.
Oh goodness.
I should probably know the rules better given that I'm playing in this.
Well, I guess we'll have to see. I'll be honest, I'm hoping we don't get quite that far. But it has been a bit of a nail biter. gENTleman,
it's been a theme in these sets generally.
Yeah, gENTleman has had this this kind of lead the entire set in momentum, but momentum might get reset a little bit going into this overtime. Now, gENTleman on spy side once again on Tayan.
Indeed, when you're ready.
In 3, 2, 1, playing it. And you were saying?
And in a lot of ways, at this point, it becomes who has the cognitive endurance to keep going the longest here. And in some ways, I think that behaviorists might even be slightly advantaged in very long sets because it's just slightly less mentally rote taxing than camping is. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, that is definitely true. The strong memory that makes Graash the sniper that he is, it is definitely a mentally taxing thing to keep up. And I like your point about how over the course of a long set that might start to deteriorate. However, this is Tayan, and Tayan's a very interesting one as far as memory goes.
gENTleman getting a little bit unlucky with this first float, only 22%. We do have Ambassador here, but I don't think that's buggable range.
No, not quite. I think
and we haven't had a good moment to shuffle over.
Banana Bread.
Banana Bread, it's a fake. And again, once again, relatively early, although In this case, it is about over a minute into the game. So how early is that really? That said, we don't have any other progress, and that was not real.
I think we could have gotten away with taking that fingerprintable drink after the banana bread, and it might well not have been noticed.
That is
But
a pretty classic cover up for fingerprintable drinks in particular.
but either way, we're already starting to look like we need time ad territory. But gENTleman's not going to be very
Banana
keen
bread.
to use any time ads after how it worked the one time we did do one.
Yeah, it did not work out that time. Graash was very much all over it on Modern. Might be a different scenario though, especially with time starting to tick down.
And we are one of only 3 neutralites with a good portion of highlights in the party. So we do have chances, but unfortunately, the part of the reason why we're not highlight is we haven't got any mission progress.
Oh, that's a white purloin.
Apart from the white purloin that is very much on screen.
At the point where gENTleman got the same exact shoji setup as last time.
Oh yes, all the shoji on the left.
A little bit unfortunate, and definitely unfortunate to see that white test on the purloin once again here out of gENTleman. It does mean that Graash starts off the overtime leading, which is the first time I think we've been able to say that all set. So momentum reset indeed. Graash now playing as red dress here on the spy side, and if we win this one, Graash might be able to take this home very very rapidly.
All right, when
Let's
you're ready.
get it going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I think picking Taeyin was possibly risky for Graash because it can be so volatile, but having won the sniper game, we can hope to find some kind of bug and Taeyin shenanigans and maybe be able to close it out.
Well, it's possible that Graash was thinking, I haven't had any trouble holding down the sniper, more or less. I just need to be able to find a spy win, and if I can do that, I can win. So that could be the reason that this Taeyin gets picked here. Graash now with the ambassador closing in could be a nice standing bug with some fingerprintable drink instead. Oh, we go for the bug as well. It's off.
That bug
it's
was
hard
subtle.
to see. Yeah, we pick up the highlight for it. Not sure exactly how much it was seen more than just credited.
That's going to be the crucial thing, and how much that fingerprint on the drink was tracked will be important as well.
Yeah, it's very
Especially
possible.
Since we're actually quite well ahead on time. We've got plenty of time to finish our prints and finish out flirt. We only need 7% more on the flirt.
It's very possible, I think, that this highlight's actually just for the print. Of course, it seemed a bit more coinciding with the timing of the bug, but we shall see. This could be a very good sign.
Now we're in with the real double agent. And once we
Unfortunately,
found a
the fake
good
double agent's
moment
out.
for the contact, the only mission is going to be getting a last fingerprint. Here it is, a white
Banana
contact.
bread.
White contact and shot immediately comes off. That bug was not suspected. It was known. We were just waiting for that last mission.
Which seemed like that bug was very subtle at the time, but gENTleman's definitely been devoting some time to guarding those bugs.
Indeed. Like we saw last time they were on Taeyin. But now we are onto one we haven't seen yet. It's High Rise. 3 of 6. This one is with the swap on. You have to have one of either swap or microfilm. That is mandated by the rule set. And gENTleman here has decided to keep the swap and have fingerprints off as well.
That seems reasonable.
Let's get it moving in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I think given how both spies have been running down the clock, having more emergency hardtails available can be quite useful.
Certainly, yeah. I think this ends up being more or less the meta pick right now on High Rise for the setup. Of course, we do see some people picking fingerprints. I know you in particular like them, Scout, for High Rise.
I feel like people underestimate just how often AIs do complete fingerprint on high-rise. Also, I'm just terrible at doing purloins, so that's an easy one.
I will say that microfilm is not often picked up, but there are some people who enjoy that one.
I think the advantage of just picking microfilm is just how rarely it is being done as a mission. And this is almost a perfect contact if we wanted to take. Okay, now it isn't.
Not quite
gENTleman
anymore,
holding
no.
off on that early BB. The question is going to be what we've lined up to do once we quite possibly finish this flirt.
Unfortunately,
Or not.
yet.
It's a white test.
Shocking, I know.
Well, it was kind of what I was expecting by this point.
What, have to have
I'm not
another
going to
green
go for
test?
a purloin. I wouldn't hate just going for a swap at this point in the game. Maybe a green swap into a contact or something like that. But it looks like it's just going to be a contact.
Contact comes off, does get the low light onto Cowboy here, unfortunately, because of that take during the contact. Somehow we got brought back up anyway by Graash, though.
It looks
Not
like
sure what
it's highlights
that's
for
about.
real.
Oh, Purloin coming in here now. This is very huge,
If
especially because a lot of people around here have also got this highlight for contact. If there's a reject by
this fade will be
Irish here,
so exposed, though.
oh, the fade was late. Graash thinking about it, not sure. Can he find the shot? Finds the wrong one. gENTleman on the cusp of victory.
That was, I think Graash just zoomed out a little bit too early on that fade.
Yeah, those late green fades can be brutal. What I would say is that the main thing that Graash needs to do there is to understand. Well, I know I didn't see a white fade, but it is gone, so it needs to be the other person. Um, and that's kind of how you suss that one out. But unfortunately for Graash, that is not what happened here, and we are on to our last game of the first overtime. Graash, once again in this bind, started off that overtime so strong in the lead, but is once again set on the back foot. Needs to win this high-rise game. Can we do it? Yet another Seek Gaming in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I like how you referred to this as the first overtime. Like you're already resigned to more overtime.
A little bit. But it is objectively the first overtime, and I can say that whether or not there is another overtime. Just because there won't be another one doesn't mean this isn't the first.
Indeed. Well, I've now lost count as to how many Seeks we've seen, but it's another Seek.
It's quite a few.
And we're
Ooh,
probably
we could
not
go
going to
in.
follow.
We've just taken a drink, so it'd be a little bit bad because we would have to gulp. But we could follow Queen in, try to get that 2 green, center inspects, and then contact really fast. That is a difficult shot to make if you're unprepared for that.
Yeah, definitely. Since, well, as a sniper, you're normally waiting at least for 3 flats. It's a little bit hard to just shoot the 2 flat. At this point, we could go back and join Queen. But it doesn't seem like we're at all inclined to do so.
Not yet. We do have the same setup as last game, though. Graash elected not to change anything.
And we're in with the double agent, but we're the only person in with the double agent. And given how many people are out at the moment, this would be a significantly terrible banana bread.
Especially since multiple of those are highlights, indeed.
Queen here just doing all of the mission progress for us.
Well, there is no prince active, so...
And now it's books. Queen just doing all of the missions that can't actually be
At this
credited.
point, give Queen a low light, She's done enough.
Graash presumably starting to worry a little bit, given the time situation and how difficult queen's been. Queen now coming exactly next to where we would have been if we hadn't moved, as it always is.
Indeed. Flirt. Unfortunately, that's an 85% on the white test, and Graash shaking the camera might be seeing his time in SMC wind down here, second by second. Only 55 seconds left. That could be it if Graash cannot find some way to finish, or if we do not see gENTleman fire off a shot on the wrong person.
Well, I think the possibility for Civ shot.
Oh, look at this frustration though from gENTleman and a safety off. What's that about?
Banana bread.
Contact comes off, and I think that we might see a shot in a moment here. Yeah, trying to find a shot through the crowd onto Rocker. Not exactly certain what that was for, but lots and lots of frustration right near the end. Maybe potentially had to give a bug credit.
It looks like we credited that double walking bug in between conversations, which would have been a sick bug if the spy got that. I think it's hard to tell from sniper side just how difficult that is to pull off.
That is extremely difficult to pull off. So you have to trigger that bug. The window to trigger that bug, for one, is tiny. In a way that makes it actually land, because you have to trigger it so early, and you could be facing the wrong way such that your drink is actually the closest arm and you can't trigger a bug as you come through forward to it. So like that is a very, very difficult bug to hit, and I'm surprised that gENTleman was willing to credit as so much as to go for a shot here, but that does bail Graash out. And you were right. Our second overtime is more of the same. No balcony yet. And by more of the same, I mean they each draft a venue instead of, going to balcony. So Graash has picked courtyard. gENTleman has picked terrace.
I'm surprised that no one has voluntarily, especially gENTleman, might have voluntarily decided to go early to balcony, but I guess it's small balcony with terrace. So,
all right.
Graash having saved himself again. Shall we see how it goes?
Yep, let's get it going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I'm just holding out to get to see some balcony.
At this
Everyone's
point, I would
always so
like
snobby
that.
about balcony in competitive.
Cheese contact. No, okay, never mind. Oh wait, that's not even the real DA. What am I talking about?
Yes, I think neither of these spies are particularly fans of charcuterie.
Aww.
Toby needs to have a friend that goes around with little snacks to go with all the drinks.
Yeah. An Ors divorce tray.
Yep. gENTleman with the shocking white test. This is not quite in the programming. Maybe finally, it's the endurance is starting to show. Because at this point, it's a lot of SpyParty.
Oh, certainly. How many games are we in? We are at 8 and 8 now. We've played. Oh, this is our 21st game of SpyParty. Happy birthday!
I mean, I think how many games is in around the world? It's 22.
Be 26. There are 13 venues.
Excellent maths, glorious maths. I've definitely played around the world before, but certainly not seriously.
Mm-hmm. We only have half the inspect here from our statue visit, but we don't have the highlight at least.
I think that's fine. We can always finish flirt and then go in for the inspect swap, maybe?
Quite possibly. Or inspect swap, then go for the last flirt as our green swap is pending. It's a little bit more efficient.
It's glorious if you can be someone who can depend on a green swap. No sign of any wish to speed up this flirt by going and doing something else in the meantime. You're just...
Well, there it is. We're going to go and try to swap for wheels, I think, was the one who was here first. But we can actually just put this down. Maybe we could have cheesed it, but not this time. We could pick up the highlight instead. The Graash notices the swap. And what does he do? We just need one more flirt.
I think it's going to be quite difficult for Graash to shoot one more flirt here. If he hasn't taken some kind of shot, this is going to be a hard shot to take. It's quite a quick talk into the very obvious
Yeah.
spy-like stop talk, but I don't. We were off screen for most of it.
Maybe Graash just didn't remember the statue right. And this might be the consequence of that very, very long set. As you were mentioning, camping might break down a little bit. That memory, those memory games are very, very taxing after a long time here in Graash. Unfortunately, not able to keep it up in this case. And, isn't knocked out immediately if this game goes awry, but does have to make a sweep of terrace and then find ways onto balcony. And that's a very long road to tread at this point if you're Graash. So you want to win this one very badly.
And winning courtyard as spy is famously easy to do.
Famously. Let's get it moving in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
As we follow the ST, and where will they go? No immediate flirt. There it is. That beautifully depressing number of 25%. Not even two close whites will finish this one out. So at some point we're going to hope for a green. In the meantime, we're going to stand here across conversation with that very mildly decreased cooldown time and do not much of anything.
Yep. About 45 seconds have passed in the game so far. We've got just the one flirt. We need to, get something done here, or else we could be in a very, very tough spot.
I'm also interested that on Spy side, there's not much. Oh no. Well, that's a red test. That's neither a red or a green.
Difficult fingerprint. Can we get this green? We do, so we pick up that potential way to finish.
I'm not entirely sure that was a legal briefcase.
I think we might have been far enough away. Oh, that path unfortunately was very awkward though.
It's fine.
Off of the conversation.
And now ST going.
And Legorv Janine just shot me for this path. How dare! Oh wow, that was horrible.
Oh no, not again.
That was the invisible wall in conversation that you can't seem to get into for whatever reason, and it's really strange.
You have to respect the personal space.
There was plenty of space, Red Dress took it immediately, but for some reason we couldn't get into it. Okay, we're gonna scoot over and get a difficult print and finish inspects and then finish flirt, I believe.
If we hit this difficult print, that'll be pretty amazing to our win percentage chances.
Ooh,
there it is. Do. This is looking a lot better. We only have
Indeed.
I mean, we can't. Okay, thank you, General. We now can actually get into this conversation. And now we need to flirt, go get a contact, and come back and flirt. I don't think we can finish this.
We can't. Yeah, we can't dilly dally. And Graash realizes it, knows I just need a little bit more progress here to finish this game off. Let me go get it. Contacts. Oh no, it's a red test contact, but it's off screen. What is gENTleman's response? We only need one more flirt. If we're not getting shot here in the last few seconds, this could be very, very good for Graash because we haven't gotten seen here. But no. Oh no, Seek is just in a weird spot where we couldn't really get to him without risking Seek just running away. We've got to follow. We're at these windows and it's going to be a little bit of overtime. Is there enough for there to be a shot though? Graash is one of the very few highlights in this game.
There might not be enough.
Overtime hits, 1.5 seconds worth of, not quite enough to shoot even. Not enough, there was enough to shoot if you shot right at the start of overtime, but both to react and to shoot would not have been enough, and we had the wrong shot lined up anyways, and that does mean Graash is back in it. We're back to even, Scout. We're back to even.
Isn't it fun and exciting, Ophi? Are you hyped?
I might be in purgatory.
as it's big balcony.
It's big balcony, and after this, we might go to small balcony, or regular sized balcony. What is small balcony really? Um, Anyways, it's not as much big balcony now that we have 3 of 7 as the venue setup. So we'll see what these spies can do with those extra missions in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Well, gentleman has picked general, so I think the plan is get a sick bug.
A 6 bug would be nice. We also have potential early flirt and inspects.
I think single inspects is useful to have, just in case you do want to go for the, you know, will you actually shoot me for 2 inspects, a contact and flirt.
Yeah, this is a very nice contact. Unfortunately, got a little bit worse as. Never mind. Never mind. The white test was a good thing in this case because Ponytail got into our conversation before that went off, so only 2 lowlights. But we do see a bunch of highlights for the real.
I think that's reasonable, but in some ways this is actually not very useful to the sniper. There's so many highlights that they all just blend together.
Yeah, it's not useful for like suspicion differentiation, but it is useful in terms of like memory and helping out with that, I think. So, oh, what was that? What was Red Dress doing there? That looked a little bit like it was. In reality, when you know the mechanics behind how Briefcase works in that spot, it's very AI-like. But that kind of like stutter step right at the end of a path usually looks very spy-like.
Banana bread.
Contact here, fake, not letting off any more lowlights. Just the one we already had a lowlight of, and all of these neutral lights now. As Graash knows, everyone has a contact.
That was a very nice second contact by gentleman to make sure that everyone now has contact.
Indeed.
The question is though, are we going to just finish flirt and go to statues? I'd
We
almost
might, and if we,
like to just
RST
dare the
comes back to
sniper.
us. RST comes back to us. We could just go in for inspects and just dare the sniper to shoot. Would Graash do it?
If we were going to do it, I'd want to do it shortly. I mean, in
Yeah.
some ways, I wonder whether all of this messing around with highlights might have made Graash forget that we actually do have partial inspects as well.
That is something that's
Not that
possible.
We can't necessarily tell that from Spy side, but we can see that there's been a lot of adjustment of lights going on.
Of course. So we do leave conversation. We go for this bug. It fails, though. It was a nice attempt. It was a really nice attempt. I liked it a lot. But we did pick up the highlight, and I think we've lost, in going for that bug, the fact that it didn't take is devastating for Gentleman because we've lost our ability to really go for these statues in a manner that does not seem like it's going to be completely suspicious. How do we continue from here? We just don't. We have to go for a second bug attempt as the Ambassador leaves windows, I think. And I think that's not going to take. It's not going to take in a way that's going to let us win the game here. Anyway.
Banana bread.
The clock's running down. The fake to try and get someone shot,
No.
but Graash can just wait for overtime.
Yeah, very nice attempt on that bug. Let's go back and look at that briefly because look, it's so well timed. Everything just seems to be perfect, but we just bounce a little bit too far away from the Ambassador. It's completely covered up, and if we had landed it, we would have won the game on the spot, of course. But so a nice idea by gentleman. Just a little bit of issues with the execution. Maybe once again an issue with Taft being our ambassador. Just that pathing being a little bit faster, not able to stay in range as long as we want them to. That does mean that after all this, Graash is on the verge of a victory. Could we say?
I'm not gonna go that far forward and claim that the set
Well, it's
will
only
ever
one
end
game
in
of
fact.
Spy. How hard could it be?
I guess we'll see.
I guess we'll see. Graash on the Spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And wouldn't you know it, it's a flirt to start us off. It's a green
51%,
test,
very
even
nice.
better. At this point, I'm just waiting for Graash to decide to just go statue to statue to statue for most of this game.
Well, he hasn't done anything like that yet, so maybe it would throw Gentleman off.
Just something to mix it up. At the same time, when you're trying to play for your win here, it can be a little bit hard to break out of habits when win or lose is hanging on one game.
Oh, for sure. So it looks like we'll be timer floating. If we can hit the 2 green, it'd be very interesting. One of the earliest plays that I saw on Terrace that kind of like blew my mind at the time was Crazy Kaylee got an early contact and got a 2 green, the second green at bar, and took directly, and was done at like 1:45 on the clock. And
Are we just framing Twin for doing the whole delegate with us to bar? Okay, no, we're delegating it. We're not taking it straight up, but I think that would have worked.
And that was like an option that we had potentially there. Something that I will say about this game in particular, lots and lots and lots of guests going to the bar at this moment. And that means that if we send off now, we might be able to get it off, and it would be very, very difficult for gentlemen to play.
Well, we're waiting. Sorry, having just landed in conversation might make it better to send now because it'll be.
I want to send. Yeah, there goes Irish.
With all of this activity around conversations recently, it's a little bit harder to track who's come from where.
That's true. Herloin, is it going to take? I think it will. Yep, there it goes. Does gentleman know where this came from? Or will all the action at bar seal the deal and finally have the set be over? And weirdly enough, potentially in Graash's favor, the shot comes off. Graash wins.
I think Graash made the most of that very, very busy party, but to be honest, I'm not. I think gENTleman has no shame losing that sniper game. That was almost everyone at that party could have done that Purloin.
Yeah, that was a very brutal party to end it off for gENTleman. And that does mean that our final score is 13-11, and Graash moves on despite seemingly having been kind of on the back foot the entire time. Not by much, though. Not by enough that it was ever, a done deal. Oh, man, that is so many matches going to overtime. I'm so tired.
Well, there will be, if you haven't had enough SpyParty, there will be another cast tomorrow.
Yes, that's true.
And, I don't know, you're the one who's practiced at closing these sorts of things out.
Thank you guys so much for coming out to watch this this match. Thank you, Scout, for co-casting with me. It was a wonderful time. And of course, thank you to our awesome host, Wrestler, who is here and making these casts happen despite some level of physical illness on Wrestler's part. And if you're interested in more of this game and you don't really know what it is, it's called SpyParty. I'm sure you can tell by now with all of the branding we've got going on. We have a Discord, discord.gg/SpyParty, very easy to remember. And if you want to buy the game, you can do so at SpyParty.com or on Steam. If you're interested in keeping up with more competitions like this one, join the Discord. There is a competition discussion and competition announcement channel that you can follow along with. There's even a tournament going on right now for relatively newer players, amateur. I forget exactly what it's called. There's a big old acronym that they usually use for it, but we have tournaments that run pretty frequently. So if you're interested in like that, please come join us. And I think that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching.